Okay, it's preparing. Okay, it's preparing. Hi, everyone. We are live. Thank you for coming to this Ascension Roundtable again. I really appreciate it. And we have our panelists here, but I'm going to go to speaker view real quick. All right. This Ascension Roundtable subject is around spiritual bypassing. And if you were not familiar with spiritual bypassing, I am a master at spiritual bypassing. And that means I can see the silver lining in anything, the positive event. Like, so for example, oh, your dog died. I'm so sorry. But now your dog is free and to run around and healthy. And I thought being positive was a very good thing, but it was really bypassing the emotion. So that is what we're going to go into. I'm going to introduce the panelist. Roxanne, can you go ahead and say hello?
Yeah, let me unmute myself. Hello, everyone. I'm Roxanne. Odyssey of Ascension is my YouTube. I'm a channel and here to put in my stuff about today's subject. So, yeah, thanks all for coming, joining in with us today. You can hear me okay?
Yes, thank
I'm
you
still
so
okay.
much, Roxanne. Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much. All right. Max, our beautiful friend Max, is actually in Italy. We were just talking to him earlier before we started the live. But Max, say hello to everyone.
Hi everyone. Yes, I changed my surrounding tonight. It's a different place from where I'm usually being with you. I'm in beautiful Italy, Rome. So, well, yeah, and it's an amazing place, an amazing feeling to be in a changing air and sun and sky. So, especially in this time where we are confined, a lot of our right, we stay so a lot at home, and now I'm just not home, so I'm celebrating. Yes, and beside that, yes, worth, wealth, abundance. So I am doing my expertise in that. So welcome everyone.
Thank you, Max, very much. All right, Kimberly. We were just talking to Kimberly earlier that she's in another lockdown in Australia. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. Yes, coming from Sydney, Australia. We are in lockdown, but I was just saying that it's no big difference for me. So, because I work from home and we're still allowed to exercise outside, so it's all good and sweet. I am a counselor, I am a channel, I am a light language alchemist, Reiki therapist. I think that's it. I wear many hats. But yeah, I teach the Ascension teachings, and it's very much focused on law of attraction and a heavy focus on law of oneness. So basically, it's a process of remembering. So if you want to work through your inner shadows, which goes perfectly with today's topic of spiritual bypassing, so a big focus on the work that I teach is shadow work. And basically it's a process of remembering, and we don't actually gain enlightenment, gain psychic abilities. It's a process of doing our shadow work, going on the inner journey, and that's when we peel back the layers of the metaphysical onion, so to speak, and remember our power, remember our oneness state, and remember more of our abilities, and specific reasons why we're here. So it helps to manifest joy and abundance in our reality. So that's the gist of it, and I'm happy to be here once again.
Thank you so much, my sister. All right, my other sister, Nikki.
Hi, everybody. I'm here in France, and I'm also an ascension teacher, an energy therapist, and a light worker. And I'm here navigating reality, moving from fear into joy and into love. And that's why I'm here. And I hope that we bring you something tonight. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nikki. And of course, my galactic brother, Summer. Can you say hello and introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Hi, Isabelle. My name's Summer. Basically, I'm here to try to help out as best as I can. I identify myself as one of the new children, and I have my own unique perspective on awakening.
And that's good. And that is why we are here. We are all here to give you different perspectives with all of us, because I'm like, for me, I'm really big on magic and science. To me, it goes hand in hand. But we gathered this roundtable of like-minded folks to help you, because really, who cares what we think? It matters what you think, what you believe about yourself. And that is why we're doing these calls. Kimberly, would you like to do a little sound alchemy to start us off?
Oh, sure. I was going to say, would Max like to join us? But he's in Rome, so he probably doesn't travel.
I don't have them with me, sorry.
Well,
I thought about it, but
well, in that case, Roxanne, perhaps, I don't know, would you like to use do your flute? Just while, just for that few minutes, that moments when I get into the trance state, perhaps. Up to you, of course. Don't have to.
Just let me know when you're done.
All right.
Hang on.
All right. Well, actually, before we start, I might want to, for the intentions, because it's light language, so I actually imprint the session with the energy. So it helps to activate more of your dormant DNA, helps to raise your frequency, helps to bring more of those shadows up to the surface for us to transmute. So I like to think of it as meditation on steroids, basically. So if you are psychically sensitive, intuitively sensitive, you might experience energies within your body or not. Doesn't mean it doesn't working if you don't feel that, but that is a lot of feedback that I get from people. So because the topic is on spiritual bypassing, why don't I set the intentions for us to have courage to face our inner shadows, for us to be able to sit with them and feel them and to process. Any other intention?
Yeah, own your shit.
I love it. Own your shit. Right. Let's do it. All right. Well. All right. So, the beautiful sounds of Roxanne and her flute, and I'll be with you in a moment. I'll go in my trance state, bring through the Elohim. su. Do ti kui ti sui ti kui ti do sui ti shui ti. I do hi. I do sui ti kui. I do sui ti kui. Itokui. Iti sutuhi. Itui situi hiti kuihi uiti suiti huihu. Take a deep breath in and exhale. As you breathe in life force energy and exhale what no longer serves you. As you breathe and recenter into your heart self, into the portal of all that is. As you breathe into your heart center, visualize a brilliant golden flame. This is your divine essence, the connection with all that is. It is connection with your soul self, the connection with the universe, to all that is. For you are one, and all connection is the one is within. And as you breathe and exhale, see this brilliant golden light shine brighter and brighter as you feel the connection within your heart, the connection with yourself, knowing that all fear is a journey to allow you to remember the love that you are, that all fear is an illusion, and it is in this journey inwards where you embrace the fear to see it as the illusion for it is, to see it for the teacher that it is, to see it for the gift that it is, to see it as a dimensional version of you that needs your love, that needs your acceptance. As you reclaim all parts of you within your heart center, as you reclaim the love that you are in all dimensions throughout all that is, you remember that all that remains is love. As you breathe and exhale, visualize roots coming from the bottom of your feet. Now visualize going deep beneath the earth to the heart of Mother Gaia as the roots that connects you, that grounds you in physical form, as you see these roots grow deep within, underneath you. And then you see a brilliant rose pink light. It is the heart of Gaia. It is the heart of your mother. It is the heart of the mother of all here in physical form. As you breathe, as you exhale, see the roots merge now into this brilliant rose pink light as she sends you her love, as you give her thanks for this connection, for this interaction, for this experience of life. And then she sends you her grounding activations to assist you, to bridge the spiritual and the non-spiritual, as she gives you activations for you to balance the non-physical and physical in reality, as it is one. Breathe And imagine this light as a brilliant rose pink with gold flections as it travels back up the roots beneath you, travels back up to the bottom of your feet as it moves up your entire being, as it moves into your heart center where it explodes with the rainbow of colors, as this light shines throughout your entire being, all the fractals of source energy. As you breathe and ground into your physical playground, remember this connection. Remember the journey inwards. Remember that you are loved. Remember that you are one. Remember that you are not alone, for you are all that is. It is with such love that we come through to allow you to remember your love and your oneness state, source expression. Farewell.
Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you so much.
Welcome back, everybody who went on a little journey.
So for those who are watching this video back and you went to the Ascension Roundtable on YouTube to see it live and you couldn't find it, I'm so sorry. I was trying to be a big girl and do this all by myself, setting up a Zoom meeting and a YouTube ahead. And for some reason, it's on Isabel's personal Zoom link and not on Ascension Table Roundtable YouTube. But Max put the link in the YouTube where people normally go. And I just wanted to apologize. I may do it again. I don't know what I did wrong. So I could replicate the same error until I figure out what I did. But I'm sure my friend Roxanne will help me understand. I thought I was so good at it. All right.
Did you do your shadow work?
I need to do my shadow work on this manifestation event. All right, so I'll just go a little, just really quickly first. I was just telling you guys how I could always see the positive. A lot of people told me I wore rose tinted glasses. I saw everything as rosy and perfect. And there was, I was always happy, that kind of thing. Well, I really thought that that was good. I really thought staying positive and uplifting, and I love being a cheerleader. I really thought that was great. It wasn't until I began into this ascension that I realized all my emotions, the ones I do not prefer, the ones that I would not allow to be expressed, like for me personally, anger. I wouldn't allow myself to be angry because my mother was angry all the time. And I just thought that was wrong. I judged it as wrong because she was angry and she would flip out and throw cheese and tomatoes sometimes, and every once in a while a chair. And after that anger, she released that emotion, then that's when you got to the heart of something. That's when you could talk to someone. But when they're very angry, you really can't communicate. So I had adopted a belief that anger was wrong. And now I understand that anger is just like a thunderstorm, that it's okay to be angry. It's okay to feel anger. It's okay to express your anger. It's interesting, and I would have to say it's very counterintuitive because I think that missing piece of expressing anger, just so you guys know, because I know there's anger management courses out there, that anger is your trigger to your fear of an inner child trauma. And so somebody might have triggered you, or you were triggered, because you create your own reality. And if you get so angry, it's because you're fearful. And you know, it's a multi-pronged approach. It's very interesting for me, especially somebody who's been really playing in the positive emotions, to allow anger, to allow sadness, to allow frustration and depression to come forth through me as a human, because this is a human experience. And I was basically saying these colors in the coloring box were not the ones that I wanted to color with. So I'm not going to choose them. Accepting all emotions is your superpower. And it's uncomfortable, especially when you have adopted a limiting belief that anger is wrong. You can only imagine how hard it was for me to allow myself to express anger, because God damn it, I was not going to be my mother. And here I find that I had to express anger, which was really, you know, I'm going to say a mind blowing thought. Like, what? This can't be right. This is not spiritual. I thought spirituality was loving and kindness and joy. What? I have to be like my mom? That was so counterintuitive. But I'm going to go around to the panelists to jump in, because I do think it is very counterintuitive. And when we emotionally bypass, meaning we go right into the resolution, the beauty of it, the higher perspective, without feeling those emotions, you don't necessarily have to be express your anger out to somebody else or be abusive. I'm not saying that, but you have to feel the anger. And that doesn't make any sense to me, especially with my belief that anger is wrong. Right. But I understand how important it is to recognize my anger, to see it's okay, to not judge it as wrong. Can I do it all the time? No, because I don't want to be like my mom. And so now I'm working on it's okay to be like my mom. So it's like, it's many steps, you know? So that's what I want to have my friends jump in. Who wants to jump in on this?
So let's jump in on humans. We got a great habit of labeling everything. We just got to explain everything because we see everything as conditions. Reality is unconditional, therefore it's unreasonable. We assign reasons to everything, and those reasons give us identity. Identity gives us meaning and gives us purpose because we're born separated. We know the value of our existence, no longer our self-evident I am. We work back to that blah, 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 the shadow work, the anger. Let's do something. Let's all be awesome for a moment and move your emotions aside the best you can. It's a very valuable habit. And I want to look at the value of creation. Anyone who claims anything beyond the human reality is bullshitting themselves. So here's the only place in my reality. Everything is subjective. You have your rodeo. We don't know what else is out there. So how do you know this isn't the only place we get to be angry? How do you know that? Then maybe this is the only place we get to find suffering. The only place that we condition our joy on a perception, not a natural state, on a perception. What fulfilled us in acceptance, what fulfilled us in admiration or belonging, connection, because the emptiness is so brutal. And we're fighting every day of our lives, earning people's love. earning people's respect, trying to make ourselves count. See how many fucking likes we got. You know, get it? It's awesome. This is a great ride. This is a master class. This blows Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory out of the fucking water. This is a master class of unequivocal um, uh, comparisons of all incarnations. And I can only say that because I'm here. I'm not out there looking at it. Because if you're out there looking at it, you ain't here. Make sense? So if we're here and we're looking at anger, don't get mad at anger. Embrace it. I embraced anger until I laughed about it. Sometimes that took a few days. Sometimes it took a few weeks. Sometimes it took many times of getting angry or suffering or hope. Can you imagine hope? Are you fucking kidding me? Hope? Implying doubt of your own existence? Oh, but a human hope is awesome. It leads to things. It gets you up in the morning. See, that's the experience. But once you realize you can't die, there's no end to you, you are invincible, then what are you hoping for when you know you're enough? Then anger becomes an experience instead of a trigger. Then hope becomes an experience instead of a reliability. And then we start the journey, the internal journey. Shadow work, call it what you will. But why does it have to be dark? Why does it have to be dark? What the fuck is dark except the point of view? Everything is light. You shape it. You shape the light. It isn't there as a standard. Creation is unconditional. It's nothing until you assign it. But I mean, it's not neutral, empty. Oh, no. We're not creators that go, oh, I think I'll do this and I'll do that and I'll just paint my things with lollipops and rainbows. How's that working out for you? Right, Elizabeth? Right, Izzy? Being all positive, and why am I not getting positive back? God damn it. Well, because it doesn't listen. Creation doesn't listen to hope, prayers, or actions externalized in hope of acceptance. What it does listen to is what you are by nature in that idea of the human experience. So what did I attract like you? Reasons to be angry. Oh, God, yeah. Right? So what did me and you, Elizabeth, what did we do? I called you Elizabeth, Isabelle. What did we do? We got angry. And we kept on fighting. And for me, I wanted to prove, why are you mad at me? I'm doing everything that you wanted me to do. I'm doing this. But see, then I saw something. Oh, what did I see? I was a dependency to them. I was their drug. Because if I was not what they expected me to be, then they can't have that relationship of disappointment with one of their kids or their misery through that. Because I fulfilled an identity. Make no mistake about it. This is my journey. It's incomparable. Look at your own shit. Own it and accept it. So the minute I stopped allowing myself to be angry and not assigning it to my mother, my father, my brother, or anything that made me angry, and said, wow, that's my emotional experience, that I get to have that because I can't get it anywhere. It's not available in any density or any galactic corner. It's a perception birthed in an idea of not knowing the value of your own existence of creator, one and all. It ain't over there. I'm all of it. I'm God. Hi. Go to the mirror and say the same fucking thing. But we don't know it on the journey until we awaken, and then we realize everything that we were was the experience, not the scripture, not the outside. It was the journey, the master. So these dark shadows, these things are enlightenment, because we can't get it anywhere else. We signed up for it. We're doing it. And we're absolutely forging ourselves in the unrelenting, unstoppable now that will always be there for us through the all forever. So own your anger. Don't assign it anymore. It's not them. They're lost. They're separated. But I know it feels good to get mad. It feels good to say, I'm this and I'm that and I'm that, because you don't know how to love yourself. So you clamor and put all these things on you to know you're enough when your existence is enough. That's permanent, right? But all of this is just words until the singularity starts to understand I create my reality. And I'm not talking about manifestation. You can do that. You can do the magic. Look, I have this, I have TVs, I have bank accounts of unbelievable amounts, right? I've got that. Yay. But what I don't have is understanding my experiences directly related to how I view things. And if I view things in polarity, then isn't my reality going to be scoped to that? Well, yeah. But if I start dismantling my polarity, seeing it's mine, I will create the relationship to reality in such a different way. Maybe one day I'll go and I'll be able to manifest an entire new planet or bend a galaxy into an idea of a binary star system now. Maybe I'll do that, but I can't do that now, and nor do I want that appetite because I don't have to prove I'm awesome. My existence tells me that. So now I'm journeying to know myself. And myself is, how does this make me feel? Is this mine? People can call this journey this and they can call that that, and I don't need them to agree with me. Because if I'm whole, then I have no lack. And then their experience becomes change for me, but not scripture, experience. It's like, wow, look at the idea of that guy. They're being an asshole. Look at you being an asshole. Have fun with that. I don't need to fix the asshole, and I don't need to fix the preacher. I allow them to be what they are, but I'll tell you what, I'll choose my truth. And if it's so, I'm not going to play with you, Puff the Magic Dragon, I'm over here. I'm focusing and reaping, sow and reap. My God, look what happens when I energize something. I energize my reality. I keep it alive. Energy follows awareness. Abraham 101. Vortex. It's all simple. Here's a toxic. Now I got to get him back. Oh no, you're wrong. You know, I'm gonna. Oh my God! Look, watch me kill you. Bye. I don't focus on them. Then they go somewhere else and find. They'll find their misery. They'll find their hope. They'll find their identity. They'll hide behind a skirt of an identity and a heartbeat because they know no value of their own existence. No one taught them to love themselves. We sure as hell didn't. My generation. I graduated high school in 1985. I'm 54. My generation was nothing about teaching a person to value. It was everything. You're a piece of shit until you earn your way. Every single one of my job, I had to earn my way in there. Because you know what? The generation before did that. But where's the generation? Who's going to answer the call and start to teach people their worth, not their purpose, to explore themselves without the victimization of, you might get it wrong, it'll be a waste of time. Bullshit. Those are belief systems. See them in your kingdom, change them, and allow the generation of change to take hold of their worth. Not what they're doing. People, you know, one thing that says, these kids are so enlightened, and they come in. No, they're not. They're just not getting the shit that we got. Because we're changing. Therefore, that gives them the opportunity to take up the next idea torch and keep running with it. We got about, what, 2,000-3,000 years left of this thing before, you know, if you're looking at Bashar's timeline of Homo Galacticus birth, the ascension, we got a long way. But it starts with us. Don't look at what we're not missing, because we can go there later. Look at where you are right now and own your shit. Own it and love it and adore it and swim in it. Make it stink on you. Look how awesome I am. I stink of awesome. I'm allowed to do this. I don't need to do that for you. I don't need to do that. I don't want that idea any longer. Look at the way you literally create your reality. Every day, it's a relationship. I got that from Seth. You create your reality through your relationship. Your opinion is how you experience. If you see me as something, that belongs to you. If I see you as something, why would you want to change my mind? Because you're enough. You're all that is. Journey well, masters. Own your shit. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Roxanne. It is. And, you know, that actually helped me. That's what I was starting to do with anger, was seeing it as an experience, that it's okay to have that experience and not to judge it. But you're absolutely right. When you go into polarity, you start judging. Does anyone else want to jump in?
I'll jump in. Why not? Yeah. Own your shit. I love it, Roxanne. Let's put that on a t-shirt. Yeah. So, you know, I and it is common in a lot of, it's spread in this, like what we call as the spiritual community. Very much people, that are into law of attraction. Even then, there's this perception where, just think happy thoughts, and I'm aware of that out there, and that's cool. I mean, look, seeing the higher perspective, yes, that's part of it. But to be able to really authentically see the higher perspective, not just fake it, but really see the higher perspective, you do need to look at the inner shadows. Because what happens, you can think all the positive thoughts you want, it's still going to be in your energy field and you're still going to be triggered by it. It's going to pop up and show all its colors, and it's all good. Like, it's all fine. There's no wrong you can do, right? And I've seen it with people who are, or you might call us kind of in a leadership realm, and, just think the happy thoughts and so forth. And then and it's okay if you're angry, it's okay to have all these kind of negative emotions, but it's like, if you don't do the inner work, you don't become aware of it. That's the thing. So it's awareness is the key. So it's okay if you're aware that you're angry. It's okay that you're feeling like this, but it's when you're not aware of your triggers, when you're not aware of this, you're being angry, that you've got a limiting belief, it'll pop up. And, this is what causes suffering. And you don't have to suffer. You can be angry, you can be sad, you can have all the negative emotions in the world, what we call as negative emotions. But you can still have that and not suffer through it. It's possible, because it's how we perceive fear. And yes, spiritual bypassing by just thinking of the positive. Yes, it's like putting a Band-Aid on the wound, right? It's like, oh, okay, well, it's too painful now, so let's just whack a Band-Aid on. Ooh, let's think of all the, all the positive. And then, but you don't, but what's happening is that you're repressing that within you, in your energy field. It doesn't go away. It stays in your energy field, and it shapes your reality, because you are energy. Your reality is energy, and your reality reflects who you are, your frequency, right? Yes, we are unique frequencies of source, and our beliefs adds to our vibration. So if you don't address certain beliefs, it's okay as well. There's no wrong in that. It's okay to explore reality and fear. Like Roxanne said, there's nothing wrong with it. But I'm just saying, if you want to not suffer, then, well, you're going to have to at some point or another face it. And, well, that's what's been happening collectively, as you might know, in the last couple of years, all these worldwide events that's triggering the collective on different levels. It's kind of allowing, all our repressed limiting beliefs and fears that we've held in this life and other lives come to the surface, right, for us to address, right? So it's all for us, and it's allowing us to ask those existential questions, right? Like, who are we? Where does my true happiness lie? So we've seen this collectively on a global level, that all these events that's happening, it's allowing us to do that. So, it's a very powerful process, but it's about understanding too that you, like what Roxanne said, you are enough. You are perfect exactly where you are in your journey. It's okay if you're full of fear. It's okay you're aligned to victim mentality. It's fine, because guess what? You get to explore physical reality, and perhaps you wanted to explore that. So there's no wrong here. And what I find as well with what we term as, light workers always show us, is that a lot of us, we judge our own journey, right? So if we have the anger, or if we don't think we're far along our path, if we can't see the oneness in our reality, if we don't have manifested $1 million in a bank account, we judge ourselves. We're like, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I'm, doing law of attraction wrong. So we judge our journey, and then we think we're not enough. We think we're crap. We're doing, but understand that there's high reasons why things aren't in our reality. And sometimes, yes, sometimes we're not meant to have $1 million, because if we were to have $1 million, well, we wouldn't be taking a certain pathway, right? Because guess what? Probably if you have $1 million, you probably like stuff that ain't working, and you'll probably explore life a little bit differently, right? But if you have a certain amount of abundance, maybe that it allows you to explore an area where perhaps you didn't explore before. It's all part of your path here. So it's about letting go of the attachments to things showing up in your reality. So it's all part of your path. So really, it's how you perceive the fear. You can see it as something that you have to suffer through. You can see it through the victim mentality paradigm. You can see that, oh, poor me, the world's happening to me, and this person is causing harm to me, right? And that causes suffering. Or you can see it was like, okay, I'm feeling fear in this moment. Guess what? They're a master teacher. They're playing a role for me, because all beings here, so even those that you feel victimized, even though, everything in your reality that triggers fear in you, guess what? They're parts of you. We are one. So if you feel fear in relation to another person, well, guess what? That person is you. So in higher truth, you are fearing a part of you. There's a part of you that you are not loving, that you are not accepting. So our shadow selves, we talk a lot about, shadow works and doing the work, owning our shit, right? So basically, when we go into fear, that is actually part of us. It's a dimension of us that we have not loved, that we've repressed, right? So it could be a dimension of us when we were a child, could be that part of us that we didn't heal, we didn't transmute and love. Wherever it comes from, it's an aspect of us. So even fear is an aspect of us. So it's not wrong. How can you be wrong? If you are rejecting you that's in fear, you're rejecting you. You're rejecting a dimension of you. So if for you to align to the oneness and divinity that you are, if you want to remember, that is, you don't have to remember. You can be here and live in victim mentality. That's fine as well. But for those of you who want to remember who they are, who want to remember their divinity, not just conceptually, but that really embrace it and know it, it's about, really loving those aspects of us. So when you're in fear, bring it into your heart center. What happens if you can let go of the resistance to feeling the emotion? You open the channels up so you can communicate with that emotion, because that emotion is a version of you. So when you feel the fear, let go, feel it. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to shout, shout. Hopefully not, to someone, but hey, if that's your prerogative, then okay. But just feel it within the body. And by you being able to feel your emotion, you'll let go of the resistance, you'll be able to see the gift within it. Now, this is counterintuitive, right? Because especially with the law of attraction stuff, we might go, okay, if we really feel the emotion, we're going to attract more of that into reality. But no, because if you don't deal with it anyway, it's still in your energy field. So it's about really being brave, embodying that emotion, feeling it, and you'll find you can then communicate, because that's a part of you, right? So you can ask it, okay, what are you trying to show me? What is it that I have not healed? What is it that I'm not loving within myself? Communicate, open a dialogue. What is my belief here? Right? Because all this process is bringing the unseen into the seen. It's about bringing those aspects of you that you've rejected, that you've not loved, could be reflected in another person or, in other areas of your life. And what you're doing is that you're being creating unconditional love with those aspects of you. And that's how you remember oneness. That's how you embody this physical reality. Because guess what? Being here in this reality, you're so highly advanced. Yes, only the most advanced beings are living on earth right now. So if you're here living and breathing, guess what? You are very highly advanced. All right. So in saying that, this is a playground. We're meant to have fun. And along the way, yes, sometimes it doesn't feel very fun. But, we get to experience all these emotions. We get to experience all these dynamics. We get to experience amnesia. We get to feel separated. But as you do this journey, as you do the inward journey, do the shadow work, you start to realize everything is connected. But, it does take courage because, yes, sometimes it does feel scary for you to sit in that emotion. But if you can allow yourself to bring it into your heart space, to breathe into it, you'll find it's not as intense. It's just the fear of fear itself. If you can sit with that emotion, release it, open the dialogue, you'll get your answer, because you're communicating with a version of you that needs your love, that needs your acceptance. So basically shadow work is the process of loving all dimensions of you and all aspects of you within yourself and reflected in another, because all others are you. So if you get triggered by negative emotion by another, well, that person is highlighting an aspect of you that you are not loving, right? Law of reflection. So if you want to, embody the love that you are, then, it's about changing your perspective to fear, knowing it's okay, right? It's all good here. Like it's just in this journey, this expansive life journey, just, embracing all your emotions. But if you can change your perspective to fear, it'll be more easier for you to face fear, because often we're just so fearful of fear itself. But if you can go through life thinking it's okay if I feel fear, okay, I have guidance to do something, even though it's scary, but it's going to be okay. Yes, you're going to feel fear. It's okay, and if you can see fear for a teacher that it is, as in not something to harm us, but to alert us to a part of us that we're not loving, to allow us to, it's basically a polarized system, right? The fear and the love, right? And it's a catalyst for expansion. This is how all the universe is created. This is how physical reality exists. It's polarity, right? So for us to expand our consciousness, to expand the universe, all that is, blah, 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 blah. It's the polarity system. So you can use fear to your benefit, right? It's coming from a transformation place from the fear. I've experienced in my own life when I, went through intense fear, and I use that to empower myself. So you don't have to become a victim from fear. It's about how you perceive fear and knowing that it's just here to show you how powerful you are. But you need to believe that you are powerful and that you are worthy. Because no matter where you are in your journey, no matter how fearful you are, no matter how sad and depressed you are worthy and you're enough, because you are perfect, because you're a source. How can you not be perfect? Right? So it's about being brave with yourself and stepping into that emotion, communicating with that dimension of you, loving and accepting all aspects of you. When you can do that, you'll be able to more easily accept everything in your reality, right? And you'll start to see more of the connections with the oneness of all that is, right? So it's just one step at a time. And yes, all of us here today, I'm sure, we all go through fear. It's part of the human experience. Yes, we're much more than human, but we're here still in this polarized system, the polarity system, right? So it's okay. It's okay if you go to amnesia and feel fear, and at times you feel connected. Go back and forth. It's okay. We're in this transition here, right? So it's about accepting your journey, no matter where you are, and just embrace life. We're not here to live on this spiritual realm and think of, what's going on in this planet and, the spiritual realm. We are here to experience and embrace physical reality, because it's all intertwined here. There's no separation between the spiritual world, the universe, and all that is out there, this universe. Everything is here, right? There's no separation. So it's about really embracing our life here, because this is where we expand, not just ourselves, we expand all the human collective and all that is, and source itself, right? The power is in the now. So yeah, just go out, have fun along the way, and have a balance here. Process your shadow work, own your shit. I love that. Put it on a t-shirt. But in the same time, have a balance. Process when you're triggered by negative emotion. You don't have to do it 24 hours of the day, right? Do it only when you're triggered by negative emotion, and find the balance. Also find the joy in your reality, all right? So that gives you the balance, right? So yeah, go play, friends.
Thank you so much, Kimberly. Thank you. That was a lot of information in there, but very helpful. I hope everyone found that very helpful. Nikki, do you want to jump in?
I'd love to. It's so funny because Isabelle and I have a course that we're teaching. It's the Ascension Teachings and Integration. And we just had our course on shadow work and emotions, feeling your emotions. So it's like, it was great to hear Kimberly talk about all the stuff, because that's exactly what we did. And we did it as a group, and it was super powerful. So I kind of wanted to bring it to the personal because, well, it's more fun for me. And I'd like to talk about my journey. So, I drank a lot, and I did everything before I was 30, like everything you can name. I mean, I didn't go to jail or anything, but I did a lot of shit. And I stopped drinking when I was 27, and I went into AA. And they told me, that I needed a higher power. So source was something outside of myself. And I hung on to that for a good many, many years. And they also told me that a grateful heart would never drink. So gratitude was the priority, right? Helping others and practicing gratitude. And as I went along in my journey, with many, many, many teachers, I discovered the law of attraction with Abraham Hicks in 2007, I think, something like that. And Abraham was talking about, cultivating gratitude and appreciation. And I had this incredible muscle of gratitude, like everything, like if I had a friendship and the person, did something that triggered me, I just, I pulled out my little toolbox, and I rationalized and said that she didn't have all the tools. I was taking, in fact, I was taking the spiritual high road. Okay. I wasn't feeling my shit. I was going that spiritual route where, seeing, everything, sugar coated, whatever. And so what happened to me, and what happens when we don't feel, and remember, as kids, there were so many unsafe situations for many, many of us where we didn't have safe containers to express our emotions, so we suppress them, and they're like stored in our bodies, and so even as an adult, more like suppressing. And, I thought, what is wrong with me? Because here I am, I'm 27 years sober, whatever. Now I'm 33 years sober. But in any case, whatever that means, it's an identity. It means nothing. But drink always brought me more suffering. So for today, I choose not to drink. But in any case, what's wrong with me? I'm doing everything right. I'm meditating. I've been doing my shadow work. I'm like practicing gratitude. I'm doing the work, I'm owning it. And, what's the problem? The problem was that I didn't think it was safe to feel negative emotion. So whenever I did feel something scary, or when I tried to shift something about myself, a behavior, I had an awareness. I was like, oh, like I don't have, boundaries around this, or I have a voice. I could actually practice using it. I would stick my foot in the water. So I would attempt to, look at that shadow part and address it. And then I get my hand cut off, bit off, or somebody would reject me or abandon me, and I would go into survival mode again. It was like so scary. And what really happened for me that began the big transformation for me, was allowing myself to roll on the floor and wallow and cry and feel it all and know that it was mine and it wasn't anybody else's. And it took a world of rejection for me to understand that I was rejecting myself, because like you said, Kimberly, everything is a reflection. So when I understood that all the things that were happening in my outside reality were reflections of my inner beliefs and thoughts, that was really pivotal for me. And it took a lot of peeling of the onion. I'm very thankful to AA, because AA got me on that process of taking responsibility and looking at my side of the street, as they said. There's nothing wrong with it. It was a great way to start this journey. And so now, we still have that roller coasters of emotion, because this is how the system works. There's still I don't want to say a cesspool, but there's a big like lake of limiting beliefs still that I hold. I find them all the time. Like Izzy and I were supposed to start our course at 8 o'clock, and I wanted to have a little chat with her before. And like she's like, what's the deal? I thought, it was all good. And I had the belief that we should have like a feedback and prep time. And it was a belief that I just made up. And then I got mad at her because she didn't have the same belief. So that's so typical. It's like, there will always be that ego mind, that monkey mind that's going to tell me things should be a different way. And that's why it's really important to go into my heart space and calm the shit down, feel whatever I'm feeling, allow that to be there, and I've talked about this before, but the thing about emotion is I'm always giving it 2 thumbs up and 2 thumbs down. But, like Roxanne said, emotion is just an experience through our perceptions. So yeah, like Kimberly said, what if our perception of fear was different? And so fear, the definition of fear is anything that that triggers us, that's it's not up there with love, hope, joy, excitement, enthusiasm, all of those upper emotions and vibrations. So the ones that bring us down a bit. And so one thing that was really important for me was to withdraw the judgment. Withdrawing judgment is a really good practice. We call this practicing neutrality, practicing objectivity. But feel it first. And, that's really important, I think. Feel it for yourself because it's for you. It is information. It's your compass. Your emotions are your guide. This is what Abraham says, and follow the thread. I'm sad. Why am I sad? Okay, because this person did that. Yeah, that feels really familiar. Where have I felt that before? Oh, yeah. Got a few memories of that one, right? And where does that thread lead me? It leads me to a belief that I established a long time ago when I was trying to survive, right? And so now we've gone, we're still surviving, but we get to play now. We call this playing. In this ascension journey, it's playing, And because we're eternal, we don't have to worry about surviving anymore. So yeah, so where am I now with my emotions? I guess I'm just more allowing, letting them to be, and understanding that when I remember I started working with one teacher and she said, Nikki, you're such a drama queen. You love the intensity of your emotions. And I guess I do. I totally do, because I love the joy. And then when it's really intense and it's like sad or suffering, I have to admit, there's a little part of me that like, oh, this is so intense. I came here for this. This is the roller coaster. It's the roller coaster of the experience of human reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikki. I agree. I think, for me, I've always been in my head. I have a big heart, don't get me wrong, but I go to my head first to figure out the emotion. Sorry, my dogs are barking. So somebody else jump in and then I'll get back to my point.
Yeah,
Right.
Oh, okay.
Go on.
Okay, I definitely agree with Nikki. In fact, I feel Nikki. I think that there's a great irony with people who become addicts, is that your setup is exactly the opposite. You're like a fountain of creativity and new life reestablishing itself in all ways that it possibly can. I think in many senses you probably unintentionally trigger your parents and the rest of the society that trains you to suppress yourself. And one of the easiest ways to just fit in is to kill that energy in a negative cycle with addictions. And it just becomes something that, look, I fit in, everything's nice now. And I think that there's a great fear in society and really feeling everything deeply. The great pleasure in that is that all the positive emotions are so much more intensified. Every little nuance, every little bit, every thread, it contains such meaning and pleasure and joy. But the heartache is just unbearable for your family and your friends and your coworkers. It's just, they can't deal with it. They'll put you in a corner, and it teaches you very often to do the same thing. But if you think about it, when you're on the toilet taking like the biggest shit of your life, and you look down at that sacrilegious act in front of you and smell the awfulness, the curdled hell that you just put beneath you. I mean, you can't really go back to the world honestly and be a professional or be like a father or a mother or like a good boyfriend or a good girlfriend or something like that. You can't be a holy person when you look down at that act and see what you've become and see what you've done. This unholy thing that came out of you. How can you possibly go back to your life and feel like you're a good person? Not after that. So what do? We try to stuff it back up, you know? We try to like suck it back down. We don't want that stuff to come out all over the place, because that's not spiritual. That's not holy. And yet that is the very definition of what it feels like to feel really good when you get that shit out of your system. When you just get that out of there, I guarantee you, you will never feel better than you feel when that stuff is out of you. When that crap is gone and you feel clean and you feel energized and you feel like jumping around in your naked suit. This is like what it means like to really be holy. It's like that kind of like dirty, shameless child who just can't help but be themselves and connect deeply with every experience, whether it be just a single giggle or a laugh or that shit that just comes out of you, like this amazing experience of just flow, just being in your flow. So you're not holding anything back. You're not constipated or you're not running. It's just like the perfect amount in the perfect way. And it just is a spiritual experience. And I think that's really the carnal joy that comes with really being spiritual, is that you really recognize and connect and enjoy those physical things, those tangible things, those feeling things, those smelling things, in all the you know, the awfulness and the joy, the pleasure of all those things. And you can't have one without the other, because it's all about feeling. And I really think that when you go through that experience and you stop pushing that stuff away, you really connect with a deeper sense of joy than you've ever been taught by anyone in your own life. And so you automatically become your own parent. You become your own authority. You become the person who trains himself or herself as to how to really connect with like a deeper sense of who you are. And I know from my own personal experience, once you accomplish that impossible feeling that you think is going to kill you, you experience like a deeper sense of life than you've ever known before. You experience excitement when you come up to things that normally you feel terrified about getting into. You start to wonder, what kind of new experience of joy, of pleasure, of just the simple enjoyments of life can I feel after I finally just take this shit and like just get through it, you know? I want to feel that good. I want to feel that deep and that connected to everything I am. And I think that's really, really just in a nutshell, or like in a toilet bowl, exactly what spiritual bypassing is robbing people of, is that when you really get into it and you really feel that shit like fully, it's out of your system for good. And you're never going to feel as clean and as pure and as enlightened as you do without actually passing that crap through your system. But the more you try to stuff it back in, you're just trying to be unnatural. You're not really trying to be what a clear vessel would be for spirit incarnate. And I think a lot of times we get this idea that, you know, we start thinking holy in a sort of amateur conception of the word, but it's more of like being the professional vessel to allow the conscious awareness of what spirit actually is using this body. I mean, we love it. We get into it. We don't want to suppress it. We don't want to push it away. We want to feel. We want to feel everything that deeply. And I think that's just like, there's nothing really better really from a human perspective. I think it's part of the reason why a lot of people love acting so much, why they love, even if they can't act, why they love seeing an accomplished actor get into it, because you see the nakedness that's required to really embody a personality structure that they aren't. that they can embody things. They can embody, rape. They can embody, tragedy, disease. They can embody the worst traits of humanity and still just be the actor on the other side of it. And I think that's something that really, that explains like the depth of what that emotion can feel like when it's pure and like uninhibited, unobstructed in our life. So embrace it. Like, look forward to those bad things. When things go wrong, just get into it. Allow that. And once you pass through, whether it be by force or by decision, once you're on the other side of that, I think you will have the excitement you need to look forward to anything that seems like an impossible issue, because you're just about to unwrap a brand new Christmas present. You have no idea the kind of pleasure that's behind that. So yeah, just feel everything.
Thank you, Summer. I love that. And I kept on getting humanness, being human. Being human is embracing all of it, everything. So thank you. Max?
Yes, so I took some notes. Okay, first thing about emotions, human emotions, accepting them and having them in our lives, and uh, being the turmoil of it or being the victory of it, whatever it is. This is what I've learned about human emotions. I have shared this already on my with everyone actually. I am part of the Zeta Reticulate hybrid program, and I've started this very early, so as a child. And as it started as a child, the relationship with the Zeta Reticulate was very difficult, because if you know, the Zeta Reticulate, one of the reasons why this hybrid program exists is because the Zeta Reticulate completely annihilated their emotional body. So when they created this program, the relationship between Zeta reticulates and humans were horrible, and we went into feeling exploited and feeling mistreated, and where all the mythology of being taken by the aliens and then made all this stuff, etc., etc. Now that was the beginning. Now we are in a different place. The Zeta Reticulate realigned with their emotional body. Why? They told me why. They realigned their emotional body because of their relationship with human beings. They were not aware of their emotional body not being there anymore because they didn't have it, and they didn't need it, and they didn't think they needed it, and they didn't know they needed it, and they even didn't know it existed. However, with the relationship with the humans, they were unable to relate to the emotions with the human emotions, because obviously they do not know human emotions, but they were able to understand that they needed to realign, to reinstate their emotional body, not because they needed it in the exchanges with the humans, because that was already happening, and at that point it was not the factor that could make it happen, but simply because in the relationship with humans they were able to see emotions as they are used, and has the human experience through emotions is built. And so they realized that it was something that was worth experiencing. They're not experiencing human emotions, that's our emotions, not theirs. They have their emotions, which we cannot experience and we cannot understand. It's not human. So, but nevertheless, that is now something that is there. So human emotions, when we try to underplay them or to just say, oh, it's useless, we have to just let go of them, or oh, why am I this, why am I that, and that is, it brings me to this and that. Yeah, all right, but still it's the human experience. You are having it, have it, accept it. Because if the reticulate came to that conclusion by seeing us, it means that there is something into the emotion that is useful no matter what being you are. Other thing, spiritual bypass in the spiritual community or through COVID. I am spiritual. I am understanding what I am, and I am so powerful. I don't need to go through this shit. I know how creation works. I will not get COVID because it's just for the stupid one that do not know what is happening. Spiritual bypassing, because that's not the experience. The experience is there to be had, even through illness. Illness is part of the human experience. Whether we love it or not, it doesn't matter. COVID is an illness, and the experience is there for all of us. And COVID doesn't give a fuck if you're spiritual or not, and if you know that you are a creator or not. You can go and put it in your whatever. Another spiritual bypass is money, right? And we have touched on that. Why do not I have $1 million right now? Well, because are you using them? No. Then why would you have $1 million? Why? You're not using them. Do you have any use for it? Oh yeah, I know what I will do with a $1 million. Good. You know what you will do. But are you doing it? No. So why should you have $1 million? And by the way, if you are asking the question, you are so much in luck that $1 million will not be there by any chances. So forget it. Just forget it. Now, personal experience. I'm right now in Italy, and as I came here, I knew that, well, first of all, I am out for the first time in months, so just being social is just a new experience. It's like the first time in my life ever that I have a social life, because I had completely forgot what a social life is. So just being here, going out, seeing people in the street, just down street here, it's the center, and all Italians are in this moment out having a great fun, and it's so incredibly new, but it's a new world, so it's new. But also I knew that coming here and finding friends, but they are family actually. I knew that even just that is triggering. It will be triggering a lot of experiences, and I didn't know how to handle it because, right, it's just the thing that you arrive there and you have no idea, and so it becomes very easy to just be here, surrounded by family, and just go, oh, whatever. But what happens with family is that family is going to trigger you all the time. There is no stopping it and there is no avoiding it. You're just in it and it's going to happen. So the thing is, are you going to accept the triggering and accept the experience, or are you just going to avoid it and say, oh, well, whatever? They are just idiots being idiots and I am superior to that, and next. And so it's a choice. It's a choice of not bypassing the experience and to just take it and interiorizing it, and then see, as Nikki was saying before, that that is a mirror for you in that moment, and that that is expressing your acceptance of yourself or not acceptance yourself, your physique, your body. Do I accept my weight, my body, my hair, my nails, my clothes? And they will have comments for all of those things and more. Good. And then you can go and say, oh, right, yeah, they say I'm fat. Yeah, right, I'm fat. Gosh, shit, I'm fat. I stopped eating. Oh, be careful. There is a lot of sugar there. You have already eaten sugar before. Now you are still eating sugar. You're going to be fat and you're ill. And then you're going to die because your heart is not going to take it. It's sugar. And I'm saying it's not sugar, it's just food. You can see sugar, and if you see sugar, there's sugar everywhere, so stop eating. And if you see carbs, there are carbs everywhere, stop eating, because you will have a lot of it every time you eat. But then it's, right, what do you do with someone that is telling you there is a lot of sugar? Yeah. Oh my God, it's horrible. But that's reality, right? You can go. And by the way, who said sugar is bad? Scientists, right? Good. Scientists have discovered that sugar is bad. But when did they discover it? 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And so before 10, 15 years ago, we had, well, Coke. Coke is everywhere, right? With a lot of sugar. So imagine in the 50s, in the 70s, how much Coke everyone was drinking. Did they die? No. But suddenly sugar has become bad. So now everyone is saying, stop eating sugar. It's your choice. But if you then decide that you are fat because of that, well, probably you will become fatter, because then you just accept to see yourself through those eyes that are not your eyes. But from the moment that you decide that what they say is true, well, then it becomes your own reality, your own eyes. And that's family.
Thank you, Max, for sharing your family stories. I understand. My mom is a big trigger for me, and I actually hung out with her for a few hours and she didn't trigger me. And I went, huh, I guess all that shadow work did work. Interesting. So
Isn't it? You did a lot of shadow work, or work on yourself to handle family, right?
Yeah, to handle family. And I am, like, it's weird, but I am really grateful that she's my mom. And I mean that. You can't fake it. I'm really grateful of the role that she played and all the triggering and all the limiting beliefs I adopted. But I also know that I came in with my own vibration and things that I was exploring here. And it was for the experience, right? And it's all for an experience. It's all for expansion. And it's fascinating. This is why I love to study the universe. I love to study the design of the mechanism, So anyways, I hope that was really helpful for all of you. Does anyone, I'm so sorry, the link, I think I know what I did wrong too. But is there any questions, Max, before we wrap it up?
No, there aren't questions.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much. Who is hosting the next one? Whose turn? Summer? You haven't hosted yet.
It's like, I think it's like Roxanne and then Summer.
Is it Roxanne next?
Wants to go.
Yeah, I can. Oh, sorry. I can go if you guys want, because I had a, I took off because of, I have my thing this week, so I can go next week, sure.
All right,
You know?
Roxanne, and then Summer, you can be
Or
the
2
following
weeks.
week.
Yeah,
Okay.
perfect. Perfect.
All right, I'm going to try to close with my dogs barking in the background. Until then, bye, everyone.
Bye, love and light.
Good stuff, guys.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
Yeah.
Max, that next time you could maybe just bring out the wine glasses and water and get the little. Have you ever tried that before? It creates like a tone if you put like
oh yeah
dab
yeah
your
yeah yeah,
finger in the
Play
water.
the water glasses.
Yeah.
I've seen people perform with them like on the street with like a whole thing of wine glasses, different sizes and shapes, and they'll play it like a xylophone almost. It's really interesting.
Hey, Max, when you were talking about your little story about sugar and all that, the other day my son said to me, my son gave me these weights and he said, Mom, here's